Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. That's bad news for Ukrainians and for their sponsors. And if Reuters reports such a thing, that means that things are really, really bad for the Ukrainians. So I have this article here, and it comes from Reuters, as I said. And this is the title: Russia advances in East Ukraine. Wow, wow, wow. If this comes from Reuters, that means the Russians must be in Kiev or something. Now, already, but they say advancing east. This is from February 1st, 2023. The situation on the front lines in eastern Ukraine has become tougher, end quote, as Russian forces push for gains that they could show on the first anniversary of their invasion on February 24th, President Zelensky said in a somber assessment. Now, he's an actor, right? He's a comedian, so don't get his crying over there or anything like that. I don't believe anything that guy says. Not that I believe anybody, but, verify first. Russia, determined to make progress before Ukraine gets newly pledged Western battle tanks and armored vehicles, has picked up momentum on a battlefield and announced advances north and south of the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut in Donetsk. Now, all this somber atmosphere and assessment of Zelensky could be give us weapons quicker, right now we need them, speed up the process. That could be one. Now, so it says that picked up momentum, battlefield announced advances north and south of Ukrainian city of Bakhmut in Donetsk. Bakhmut and 10 towns and villages around it came under Russian fire, the Ukrainian military said late on Wednesday. Bakhmut has suffered persistent Russian bombardment for months. Avdiivka, another major Russian target, the nearby town of Marinka and some neighboring settlements were also hit, the military added. In Krematorsk, about 55 kilometers, which is 34 miles northwest of Bakhmut, a Russian missile destroyed an apartment building and damaged 7 on Wednesday, killing at least 3 people and injuring 20, police said. And I'm quoting again. Definite increase has been noted in the offensive operations of the occupiers on the front in the east of our country. The situation has become tougher, end quote, Zelensky said. And I'm quoting again. The enemy is trying to achieve at least something now to show that Russia has some chances on the anniversary of the invasion, end quote, he added in an evening video address. These guys really think that the Russians are like them. And I'm not talking about the Ukrainians, because the Ukrainians are, they have a big PR over there. I remember when that general said about the PR in Ukraine and Kiev, when he said, I don't want to compete with anybody, I just want to fight the war and defend my country. I think it was Zaluzny, I don't know, like 6 months ago, when he was asked a question, he answered it. It's more to this, but I'm just trying to say that these guys are just, they think they are, look at the pictures of Zelensky. They're all, those are not the way the guy moves around, all right? I saw the guy move around, and he's not like that. That is just, look at the light. Don't look at him. That is playing, Look at the light, how the light is set up in wherever he is. That is arranged, like my lights. Otherwise it would be dark, we don't see me, like my videos, I don't know, a while ago. They say, who the hell is that? Is that Emil again? So something like that. Look at his lights, are perfect. The cameras, the resolutions, the guy has a big crew over there, okay? I don't know if that's from Hollywood or maybe from the East Coast, if you know what I mean. So anyway, look, just pay attention to that. Lights, perfect pictures, great resolution, expensive cameras and all that. And the crew, always taken halfway, always serious. Just look at it. It's funny for people who just know something about that. Anyway, let's go back to this thing here. So yeah, the enemy is trying to achieve. They think that the Russians are like those guys from the West, showbiz. Oh, we're gonna show something for the February 24th. We're gonna do that, and then we're gonna just go to Hawaii or Tahiti and have a little dance and some margarita on the beach, because that's the way those Russians are thinking. That's exactly how they think. Well, if you're just so, self-centered and you don't understand, you don't try to see how other people think, you're going to think that everybody thinks like you. Anyway, Zelensky also vowed more anti-corruption measures as authorities continued raids ahead of meeting with European Union officials on Friday, reflecting a determination to demonstrate that Ukraine can be a reliable steward of billions of dollars in aid. All this I would disqualify right here. I don't believe that. Personally, I don't believe that at all. It was like an order. And how do you know these guys that are just the raids ahead of the meeting? It's not, people that people have something to pay. Like for instance in Stalin's, how do you call it, purges. Oh, because they're not like Stalin. I got it. My bad. I'm not saying they all are, but it's a situation with war, and remember, it's martial law. Has been from the 24th of February 2022, instituted in Ukraine. So, anyway, Ukraine sees the meetings as important to its hopes of joining the bloc. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Kolomoisky could not immediately be reached for a comment. He has denied any wrongdoing. This is a guy who was just one time Zelensky's ally. He was investigated businessman. He's just going to come clean, or he's going to go to prison a year and is going to keep his billions. Anyway, rocket hits Krematorsk. In Krematorsk, police said a Russian Iskander-K tactical missile struck at 9:45 p.m. 1945 GMT. Oh, so it was late. And I'm quoting, at least 8 apartment buildings were damaged. One of them was completely destroyed. People may remain under rubble. At least 44 people were killed. In April 2022, Ukraine has 57 people died when Russia's missiles. Okay, here is building the case that those are war criminals. We already got that message. I'm dreaming about that every night. I talk with my wife, with my girlfriends, with my boyfriends, with everybody about those things that happen, the war crimes of the Russians. I can't get out of my head. Yeah, okay. A former commander of Russian Wagner mercenary group who fled to Norway in January told Reuters he wanted to apologize for fighting in Ukraine and was speaking out to bring perpetrators of atrocities to justice. No, do this. Go and take responsibility. Did you fight? Did you kill anybody? Go to prison for about 20 years, and then I believe your little apologies. Yeah, okay. You're gonna probably, after a while, if I saw his picture, he's kind of young. He's a commander, but I don't know exactly what it means in the Wagner group. Anyway, he lived in the West for about, I would say, 5 years to 7 years, and have a family, and then you see how you're going to apologize. I don't know for what, but you're going to see. First of all, I'm quoting, repeatedly and again, I would like to apologize. Okay, I'm not going to read the weasel's stupidity. He's 26, Andrei Medvedev. Medvedev, oh, his nephew or something. Anyway, man, the Wagner Group has been locked in a battle of attrition in Donetsk, with supporters of Russia saying its forces have captured about half the region. We need weapons. There you go. We got where we are, where I said we will. Donetsk and Luhansk declared annexed by Russia in September following sham referendums making up Ukraine's industrial region. Okay, but where is that? In the past 24 hours, Ukraine forces repelled attacks on several centers in Donetsk, including Bakhmut, Krasnahora, and Blahodatne. I thought that was already liberated by Wagner Group. Oh, they were lying. My bad. But the Ukrainians tell us the truth, nothing but the truth. Ukrainian military analyst Oleg Zadanov said. Russian forces said they took Blahodatne, just to the north of Bakhmut, on Tuesday. Yes, they said. Russian forces also tried to launch attacks on the logistics hub of Liman, retaken by Ukrainian forces in October, but they made no headway, he added. Reuters could not confirm battlefield reports. Oh my. Russia and Ukraine are both believed to be preparing new offensives, and Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov warned that a Russian push could begin as soon as February 24. Yeah, okay. I can say the second coming of Jesus Christ will come in this century. Who's going to hold me accountable for that? You're going to be all dead, including me. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we will see. If nothing happens by the 24th of February, what are you going to do, Reznikov? Nothing. You're just going to say, well, it's going to be the next month. Anyway, Ukraine has secured pledges of weapons from the West offering new capabilities. The latest expected this week to include rockets from the United States that would nearly double the range of Ukrainian forces. Yeah, it's 150 kilometers. The Kremlin said, which is about 90 miles. The Kremlin said the long-range rockets from the United States would escalate the conflict, but not change its course. And I'm quoting: the special military operation will continue. End quote. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, using Russia's term for its invasion. But what is he supposed to say? We give up? Is this what he was supposed to say? What did you expect? Anyway, Putin sent troops into Ukraine last year to, I'm quoting, demilitarize and denazify, end quote, its neighbor, but he now casts his campaign as a fight to defend Russia against an aggressive West. Ukraine and the West accuse Russia of waging an illegal war to expand its territory. Well, he started initially for that, but he didn't expect the West, the NATO, to go full crazy in it. I mean, he thought that, oh, it's okay, I'm going to do it like he did in the first 2 weeks. After the first 2 weeks, Ukraine said, well, let's talk about it in Istanbul. They went in Turkey. They said, yeah, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. The envoy came from Istanbul, from Turkey, came to Kiev. Boris Johnson, at that time the Prime Minister of Great Britain, landed in Kiev, and the next day the Ukrainians said, no, that's it, forget about what we talked about yesterday. Everybody, sources and people say that what happened over there with Johnson just parachuting himself, his fat ass, in Kiev, after that was not a coincidence. He came over there and he grabbed Zelensky by his left ball that he's got. And anyway, and he said, okay. And that's what happened, all right? So tell me about that. And then he said, well, you're going to give me everything? Yeah, we're going to give you everything. And that's changed. Since then, that second, the NATO decided to bring everything in. And they started with condoms. They started with, bullets. They started with javelins. Then they got to howitzers. Then they got with HIMARS. And they got higher to armored vehicles, and then they got to tanks, they're going to get to airplanes, they got to long-range missiles, and they're going to get to troops under different kind of name, euphemism. I know, peacekeeping forces, NATO, loving forces, perfect forces, humanitarian forces, I know, something like this. So what I talk about? Yes, it's changed. I mean, really. Well, we are at this war that could have been prevented. Did not have to start, but it seems like some people really wanted it, and as I always say, I mention it when it's necessary. Follow the money, and que bono. Who benefits, and who gets the money, and you're gonna kind of find whomever is behind certain kind of incidents that are just lucky. It's just lucky. I mean, look at how much profit certain kind of industries are making. It's just luck. I mean, it just happened, and what? I mean, it's a coincidence. So yeah, what was the title? The Russians advance. Russia advances in East Ukraine. As I said, if this comes from Reuters, the Russians probably are way further than these guys are saying. It's that I learned this. They taught me through this little war in Ukraine. I mean, I knew from literature how things and how psychologically you behave in this kind of situations. You minimize your losses, you maximize your successes. The self-attribution, principle. If you did something good happens to you because you're good. If something bad happens to you, it's because of someone else. All right. But in this case, if the Russians advance a lot or do have successes, nothing there. If they have some losses, oh my God, half of them died. The same with many other things. And this is war. Remember, the first victim of war is truth. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.